Hi, everyone. Hope everyone had a great week. This is our preview for the 17th through the 20th. As you probably realize, Monday is Martin Luther King Day, and so we will not be in school. So as always, students can come to Google Classroom for most of their resources. If you have questions, this was where you should come. Starting next week, they'll have a topic, that's basically the same thing, argumentative writing, but the 17th to the 20th. Remember that under additional resources, Membean, eHall Pass, which you don't need at home, so I don't know why I'm mentioning that, my YouTube channel, and the day-by-day agenda. We're going to jump into the agenda in a second, but as you'll see, I've completely updated what it looks like and what I'm sharing in the agenda. And so it's much more thorough, much more explanatory. And so if your student's absent, especially for a while, I would like you and them to start there. So check the agenda, see what was going on, and then if you have questions, definitely reach out. But everything you need to know is there. So let's see. So let's go ahead and jump in. One thing your students will be using a lot is the resource book. So this is in their drive, but some will open it from Google Classroom. They're not going to open this, or I'm sorry, they're not going to submit this for a while because it's a really big resource packet. But as we're doing work, I go through and grade, and some of it's graded, some of it I just provide feedback, but they can see that, and so can you if you want to in the private comments. So, okay, so let's go ahead and jump in to the agenda. Okay, so we continue. That's today. Okay, so the 17th. So students will identify, and they're going to do this for a couple of days with a couple of different texts, but students are going to identify arguments for and against a point of view, and they will identify the 3 appeals used in informational text. So again, the 3 appeals are ethos, pathos, logos. And right now, your students are reading mentor documents, which are just basically well-written professional pieces that that they can practice seeing how it's done when it's done well before they start taking a side or writing anything themselves. So for our Start Strongs, we're practicing identifying issues with our argumentative thesis statements, which, as I told your students, is really just a fancy word for a topic sentence, but as they're getting older, they need to use the correct terms. So they'll do that again. And then I'm going to show them a slide deck, and they're going to take notes on the ethos, pathos, logos doodle notes. Now, again, this is not very visually appealing. This is not where they're doing their work. This is a picture or an image for them to see if they've been absent, so that then when they come to their packet, they can find what they're looking for, right? I can't post the slide deck that I'm going to show them. So if they do miss this day of notes, they're probably just going to want to get with a friend and ask their friend for the notes. And because it's electronic, they can even like copy and paste. That's fine with me if they want to use chat or whatever, however they want to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back in. Then students are also going to read and analyze Our Surrender to the U.S. Army, and they're going to complete an appeal rhetorical triangle. So ethos, pathos, logos, and the rhetorical triangle. And we'll work on that together, okay? Again, they have a better, easier to use version of this in the document, and I note in their resource book, I should say, and I note in the agenda exactly what slide this is on. The actual document that they're going to read is on slide 15. So yeah, so if they're absent, they can read this on their own and fill this out. Okay, so then on Wednesday, again, they're going to identify arguments for and against a point of view and identify the 3 appeals. We'll start with auditing argumentative thesis statements, and then they're actually going to do this work today as a formative assessment. So they're going to reread the Gettysburg Address. At this point, they will have listened to and read it twice. So they're fairly familiar with the document. We've discussed it 2 times, but now they need to complete the appeal rhetorical triangle. This will go out through Google Classroom as a separate assignment. Then they have time for Membean and or makeup work. Okay. Let's see. Then on Thursday and Friday, they're going to now start to move into identifying issues with, oh, you've, okay, sorry about that. So let's come into here. I did not realize I wasn't showing you this slide, but it's okay. Then students are going to identify issues with argumentative sentences and analyze how authors develop an argument with reasons, evidence, and rhetoric. And students will be able to identify the strongest argument. So as you can see, they're moving from just knowing what it is and identifying arguments to now analyzing how an author develops them. So, which is good because they're going to have to develop arguments later in this unit. So they're going to read 2 articles, both online, because that's where a lot of their research is going to be, is online. So one is about recess and one is about suspensions, and so, or really discipline. And what they'll do is complete the real world writing for this, which we will work on together. And again, there is a sample. The actual work will be done in there, in here. And in their resource packet. In addition, the articles are linked in their resource packet. So they have all these links that they need. So again, if they're absent, this is something they can do on their own. We will do some discussions and some things to get them ready for that conversation. But yeah, so they'll just be progressing through the unit and through the skill set. Oh, just a reminder that they need to do 135 minutes of MemView by Sunday the 29th. And I think that's it. So hopefully you have a great weekend and talk to you soon. Bye.